Welcome to the session. I am Dr. S. Anusha Katyayani, Assistant Professor in Department of Chemistry, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. Today, I am going to discuss on one of the polymers like elastomers and the process involved in the manufacturing of these elastomers and the examples of elastomers like natural rubber. So here the outcomes of this presentation is we are going to know the elastomer principles and properties and its application. So the elastomers, what are the elastomers? So we are going to focus on the types of elastomers and examples of elastomers and properties of the elastomer, which is a commonly known natural rubber, and what is creep rubber and what is the process involved in the vulcanization of rubber and the applications of rubber we are going to see in detail today. So the any rubber material composed of a long chain-like molecules are polymer units that are capable of recovering its original strength or original shape after being stretched. Nothing but the elasticity property. So they retain their original shape after the elongation or after being stretched. They are called the elastomers. So the elastomer name is elastic polymer. So elastic polymer is nothing but the elastomers. So rubbers are also known as the elastomers. They are high polymers which have the elastic property. So these rubbers also called Indian rubber and latex and Amazonian rubber. So they consist of polymers of the organic compounds like isoprene. We know polymer is nothing but the combination of monomer units. So polymer is a long linear or branched or cross-linked chain which consists of monomer units. It may be a linear or cross-linked or branched. So these are the monomer units. In rubber, these monomer units are isoprene. So the rubber is a polymer which consists of isoprene units as monomers and it forms a long chain that is called the rubbers with minor impurities of other organic compounds. So the main four leading rubber producers are Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia and Cambodia are considered as the main rubber producers. They export rubber to different other countries. So natural rubber, how it was harvested and where it will come. So the rubber is harvested mainly in the form of latex. So latex is nothing but a milk-like substances produced from the trees, specially called a rubber tree, which is Hevea brasiliensis. So from this latex is produced. So the latex is nothing but a sticky, milky and white colloid drawn from making the incision on the tree. So if we see here, they make an incision or cut, it should be perfect. We should not damage the vessels of the tree. So the incision should be on the top of the tree. So here the white, sticky, milky and white colloidal liquid will be collected in the cups. These will be collected in again it will take lot of time, like drop to drop it will come and accumulate in the cups. So thus collected cups can be transferred into a bigger tanks or a bigger vessels. Then it was collected in such a way. So the incision making on the tree, it should be from left to right and it should be the spiral. So there are some regulations like how to make incision on the tree. So it will be done by the professionals. So the rubber is harvested mainly here. The latex is then refined into the rubber that is ready for commercial processing. So thus collected latex will be also collected in the form of solid form. So what happens? if we keep for longer time, it will coagulate and it forms a solid which is having some elastic property. We can see the formation of solid here. So here we can see the flow of latex from the tree, rubber tree. So it was collected in the cups, and if it is allowed for a longer time after collection, then it becomes a semi-solid. Some coagulated lumps are collected and processed in dry forms for sale. So this is a high molecular weight hydrocarbon polymer which represents the formula C5H8X. This is the number of monomer units, and this is the isoprene unit which is having 5 carbon molecules and 8 hydrogen molecules. So it is a polymer of isoprene units. So if the repeating unit X is nothing but the repeating units. So as we know, the polymer is nothing but the repetition of the monomer units. Small monomer units join together by the bonds which results in the formation of polymer. So this elastomer is also a polymer. The same thing here, the monomer units, isoprene units join together and form a chain that is called the natural rubber. So here if we see isoprene, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 carbon molecules and H8. So this gives the isoprene unit, and if this is one unit, then C5H8N, which gives the natural rubber called polyisoprene. So it is an elastomer, makes it applicable to many industries like the manufacture of dipped products. So there will be one mold made of steel. With that, this latex, whatever we got from the plant, without any vulcanization process, they undergo some treatments like stirring and removal and bulking. Then it was used in the industries like preparation of gloves, balloons, etc. and other medical products. So with this latex, we can prepare these things. This foam, again in this, the foamed latex is specially used in the preparation or manufacturing of cushions and mattresses. As we heard the term, like this is the mattress which is the foamed latex. So which is very tensile and elastic property strength will be there for this foamed latex and plays a vital role in the manufacturing of mattresses and cushions. So the processing of rubber, how the rubber, the once collected latex is going under the process of treatment to for the manufacturing different industries. And what is the process? So by cutting the bark of rubber, the milky colloidal rubber milk which is obtained is latex. So the main constituent of this latex is 25 to 45% of rubber. In general, the once collected latex is mixed with ammonia. This is a preservative, but the concentration should be very less, like less than 2%. So the less than 2% ammonia was used as a preservative and the latex, because the latex is a combination of protein, rubber and some organic compounds and some minerals. So this ammonia neutralizes the calcium and magnesium salts present in the latex, and this ammonia acts as a preservative and it prevents the formation of any other chemical unwanted compounds. So the transportation of this latex also plays a vital role. Hence, most of the industries prefer the 60% of the rubber should be there in the latex. So here what we are getting is 25 to 45% depending upon the tree or depending upon the source which we are getting. So they will concentrate the latex obtained from the trees and make it to 60%. Then only it was moved to the commercial scale. So, and even the collection of this latex plays a vital role, which depends on the temperature. Because due to the less evaporation rate during the morning times, these trees give high concentrated rubber due to the less evaporation rate. So the quality of the latex which we are obtaining from the tree the quality of the latex which we are obtaining from the tree plays a vital role, depends on the temperature also on the making the insertion on the tree. So depends upon the collection criteria also the latex quality depends. So this is first coagulated by 5% acetic acid and made into sheets. So thus obtained latex will undergo for preservation we will add ammonia or zinc oxide. Otherwise, then it was added 5% acetic acid. So the once acetic acid was added, then it was converted into sheets or made into sheets by using the roll mills. So the rubber sheets are cured under mild heat and then subjected to further process. So actually these are, as we know, the latex is a combination of rubber, water, protein and other resinous material. So these are the neutralized rubber particles. So this is the protein structure which is having H plus ions. So once this 5% acetic acid is added, it breaks its protein bond and the material like rubber material present in the inside the protein rubber polymer coagulates are formed. So once these coagulates formed, it undergoes the filtration process and these formed colloids or rubber polymer coagulates are converted into sheets. So after natural or synthetic rubber is made, it is delivered to processor plants. So it should be the final product should be used in utilized to make a variety of goods. So the four processes are involved generally compounding, mixing, shaping and vulcanizing. These are the four processes involved in the conversion of the latex or the rubber sheets which is obtained here are converted into the useful products or variety of goods which involves these four processes. So the first compounding. Compounding is nothing but the addition of carbon black filters which increases or enhances the tensile strength by it boosts the tensile strength and protect it from UV light degradation. So the next step involved after the compounding is mixing. So the rubber must be mixed with well mixed with additives. The temperature is raised for this purpose and the additives added are thoroughly blended inside the machine. So the addition of additives like additives which we are using should be properly blended before the shaping. So here we are going to mix the additives to the rubber. Then shaping. Shaping, the name itself indicates we are going to make a shapes or molds. So force a highly plastic rubber through a series of screw extruders to create rubbers. So after this compounding, here the tensile strength of the rubber is increased. Then mixing. Mixing properly by blending. Then shaping and force to pass through the extruders, screw extruders. Then two spiral extruders will be there and it will be forced to like this use the homogeneous rubbers. So the mixture after the addition of additives, after this passing through these extruders, then it gives a then it goes to the shaping. Then vulcanization. So the rubber processing unit is finished with vulcanization. So the vulcanization is the last step involved in the rubber manufacturing. So here the sulfur is going to added to the rubber where the cross connections between the rubber will be formed during vulcanization. Supports, these are the isoprene units, a linear chain of isoprene units. So in the process of vulcanization, the bonds will be formed with sulfur. So the cross links will formed with the addition of sulfur. So this process is called the vulcanization process. So the crepe rubber. What is crepe rubber? So once the latex is collected, it should be added with sodium bisulfate to bleach the color, to retain the color and feed in the rollers which produce 1 mm or more thickness sheets. So first sodium bisulfate is added to bleach its color and feed the rollers. Rollers are two rollers will be there in between these some gap will be there between the two rollers. They move in circular and anti-circular motions means clockwise and anti-clockwise rotations, then the rubber is passed through these rollers. So it should be, the gap will be 1 mm. We can adjust the dia of these rollers to get the sheets accordingly, and which are dried in air about 40 to 50 degrees centigrade. So the dried thin sheet of rubber, also known as smoked crepe rubber. So once we get the 1 mm sheets of these rubbers, they are also called as smoked crepe rubbers. It prevents the addition of this sodium bisulfate prevents the darkening of pale crepe due to enzymatic reaction. So thus obtained rubbers are called, they delay in incorporating the chemical would result, so this chemical is nothing but the sodium bisulfate addition, which result in discolored crepe rubber. So dark colored crepe rubber is obtained, that is called the crepe rubber. So generally the collection and preservation of latex goes to the preliminary straining, where the most of the suspended particles or leaves or any materials present can be strained in preliminary straining. Then weighing of latex. They are going to weigh the how much of latex obtained. Then bulking and standardization procedure, followed by addition of sodium bisulfate, because due to the crepe rubber formation they have to add sodium bisulfate, then fractionization, then bleaching, then coagulation, then milling, then drying of laces or drying of sheets. So this is the process generally involved in the manufacture of these sheets of rubber. So mastication. So mastication is a process of softening or breaking down the molecular chains of rubber particles by the means of mechanical shear such as grinding and mixing. So due to the application of the mechanical force, the breaking of the bonds will happen in the rubber. That process is called mastication. So this process, the rubber will get soft and gummy when subjected to severe mechanical forces like agitation is nothing but the mixing. So it is followed by the addition of certain chemicals, like that addition of these chemicals is called as compounding. That process is compounding, which is carried out on roll mills or internal mixers. These are the roll mixers or roll mills, where two rolls will be there, one here, one and another here, one and another one is two here. So based on the adjustment of the based on the distance, the diameter of the sheets will be obtained. So if it is longer, the more thick sheets will be obtained. If it is smaller, so if the two rollers are rotating, if the gap is very less, the rubber entered is very less. So the we get from this, so the of the means millimeter thickness of the rubber obtained between these two rolls will be less. So by this process we are softening or breaking down the bonds present in the rubbers. So the obtained rubber sheets will be like this, of very less thickness. We can observe here it is very transparent and very less thickness of rubber sheets are obtained. So the after mastication complete, the rubber mix is ready for vulcanization. So once this process completed, the rubber enters the vulcanization process. So vulcanization. Vulcanization is one of the important steps to get the hard rubber. So it consists of heating the raw rubber at 100 to 140 degrees centigrade by the addition of a compound called sulfur. So particularly by the addition of this sulfur, they combine chemically at the double bonds of rubber spring and provides a cross-linking between the chains. So this is the raw rubber. So this is sulfur, and 100 to 140 degrees centigrade we are heating this raw rubber. Then we can see the formation of cross links here. So there were links, they are interconnected and cross links are formed in the rubber. So this is called vulcanized cross-linked rubber. So this is raw rubber, again sulfur and heating at 110 to 140 degrees centigrade result in the cross-linking of the rubber of two linear rubber molecules or two linear polymer elastomers. So This is a process of changing synthetic and natural rubbers into cross-linked polymers. So this is a linear rubber polymer like isoprene units. So polyisoprene. Then when it was heated with 100 to 140 degrees centigrade in the presence of sulfur or addition of sulfur gives the cross links between these polymers. So this process is called vulcanization. So the cross linking during vulcanization brings about stiffening. It becomes very hard. The rubber we obtained will be very hard rubber by anchoring and consequently preventing the intermolecular movement of rubber springs. So, which consequently preventing the intermolecular movement of these springs. So, it becomes very hard and stiffening will be there in these rubbers. So, one of the best example that we get after the vulcanization is tires. As we know, they become very hard. So, these rubbers are vulcanized rubbers. So, the amount of sulfur added determines the extent of stiffness of vulcanized rubber. So, the stiffness and the hardening of what rubber will depend upon the addition of sulfur. If the amount of sulfur varies, then the extent of stiffness varies. So, this is the natural rubber latex which we obtained from tree. This is a synthetic rubber which we obtained from the isoprene units, not from the plant. This is man-made and this is vulcanized rubber. So latex undergoes a process of vulcanization with addition of sulfur forms a crosslinks and loses its this property and becomes stiff. So then it is called the vulcanized rubber. So here we can see clearly. So this is the isoprene units. So the this is the isoprene unit. This is one isoprene unit, and so they combine together and forms a linear polymer like polyisoprene. This is one polyisoprene. Once sulfur is added and 100 to 140 degrees centigrade is heated, then what happens? It formed a bonds between these two linear. So two bonds are formed. Here one is linear and one is linear polyisoprene. So once the addition of sulfur resulted in the formation of cross links, sulfur bonds are formed between the sulfur cross links are formed between the two linear isoprene rubber units. So gives the cross linked structure of the isoprene units. So why we are doing vulcanization? Why we are adding sulfur? Because it becomes stiff. So we cannot use for some other manufacturing things. So why we are using vulcanization? Because by the addition of sulfur and by the process of vulcanization, the tensile strength of the rubber will increase and it gives the better resistance to moisture, oxidation and abrasion. So the mechanical strength. So and also this gives the resistance to organic solvents like carbon tetrachloride and benzene or petrol, etc. These are the organic solvents. So once due to the addition of sulfur and due to the process of vulcanization, it becomes resistant to some organic solvents like benzene, petrol, and it has only slight thickness. The rubber obtained from this vulcanization will have very slight thickness and low elasticity, improves tear strength, and also creates an excellent material for electric insulator. So it also offers excellent resilience and low water absorption of the rubber. So these are all the advantages upon the process of vulcanization. So this is why we are vulcanizing the rubbers and are used in the manufacturing of pipes and these are the materials and manufacture of tires also. Because on the roads it should be temperature resistant and then electrical proof and low water absorption capacity should be there. So based on this advantages, this vulcanized rubber is used in manufacturing of these tires, and also in the industries. It is used as the layers. This rubber specifically used as a layers in the reaction vessels. So the applications. So the manufacture of tires, as we discussed, and tank linings in chemical plants, because these they won't react easily with the solvents. They are chemically inert. So it gives a vital application in using of these tank linings in chemical plants, and it to reduce mesh vibrations and sandwiching material between the metals. So sandwiching material means like walls, like these are used as a material between the two metals. It will be a leak proof, and even in tightening the bottles we will use some rubber rings, because it will be tight and it won't give the liquid or water are present in the bottle to come outside. So these and foam rubber in cushions and mattresses. As we know, the latex is used in cushion and mattress manufacturing, and rubber coatings are used to make waterproof textile tents, raincoats, and conveyor belt on in industry and other items used for the industry, and also used in flooring. So the rubber sheets are used in the flooring purposes, and molds are used to make rubber products like shoe soles and heels, seals, suction cups, and bottle stoppers. So these rubbers play a vital role in the manufacturing of these products, and due to their advantages and their applications and their properties, they play a vital role in the manufacturing of all these materials. So the rubber is used everywhere, like tires, automotive compounds. In cars, all the these gaskets, even in the doors, we have one gasket that also prepared by the vulcanized rubber. And clothing, flooring, and natural rubber gaskets, and rubber nozzles, and erasers, and rubber sheet products, and in ducting, and also in coatings and adhesive preparations, even in rubber gloves, and anti-vibration isolation pads, and rubber swimming tubes, even in elastic rubbers. Thank you.
Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.